Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in the city of Ulm, in the Kingdom of Württemberg, part of the German Empire. His father, Hermann Einstein, was a salesman and engineer who later co-founded an electrical company. His mother, Pauline Koch, was a quiet, thoughtful woman with a deep appreciation for music, especially the piano. Albert was a peculiar child from the beginning. He spoke very slowly, often pausing between words so long that others feared he might never become fluent. He preferred to be alone, watching the world with quiet intensity, showing early signs of a deep internal world of thought. At age 5, he fell ill, and while he was recovering, his father gave him a magnetic compass to play with. This simple object triggered something profound in young Albert. He was fascinated by the invisible force that guided the needle, and it sparked a lifelong curiosity about the unseen principles that govern the universe. This moment, he would later say, left a lasting impression and planted the seeds of scientific wonder in his young mind. Albert's school years were marked by conflict. The rigid, rote learning style of the German education system did not suit his creative and questioning nature. Teachers often mistook his silence for defiance and his curiosity for distraction. One teacher even told him he would never amount to anything. But Albert was not lazy. He simply refused to learn in a way that crushed imagination. He found solace in math and physics, subjects that spoke to his logical mind. When his family moved to Milan, Italy, in 1894, Albert stayed behind in Munich to finish school but soon joined them, renouncing his German citizenship and becoming stateless. He enrolled at the Swiss Federal Polytechnic School in Zurich in 1896, where he planned to become a teacher in physics and mathematics. Although he often skipped lectures and frustrated his professors with his unconventional ways, he excelled in his exams and graduated in 1900. After graduation, Einstein struggled to find a teaching job and eventually took a position at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern. Though the job was not academic, it was perfect for someone like Albert. He spent his days reviewing patent applications for electromagnetic devices, which gave him insight into the practical workings of physics. More importantly, it gave him free time to think and to work on his ideas. 1905 became a legendary year in Einstein's life and in the history of science. At the age of 26, he published 4 groundbreaking papers in the Annalen der Physik, a leading scientific journal. These papers covered the photoelectric effect, Brownian motion, special relativity, and the equivalence of mass and energy, the famous equation E=mc². These contributions changed the landscape of physics. Each one could have earned a Nobel Prize on its own, yet Einstein remained relatively unknown to the public at the time. His work on the photoelectric effect would eventually win him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. But his theory of relativity is what transformed him into a household name. In 1915, Einstein completed his general theory of relativity, a stunning reimagining of gravity as the curvature of space-time around massive objects. It was a difficult theory, even for seasoned physicists, but it would soon be confirmed in dramatic fashion. During a solar eclipse in 1919, observations showed that starlight bent around the sun exactly as Einstein had predicted. Overnight, he became an international celebrity. With fame came both admiration and criticism. Some scientists resisted his theories, and anti-Semitic groups in Europe targeted him for his heritage and progressive views. Still, Einstein remained focused on science, speaking out for peace, civil rights, and education. He traveled extensively, giving lectures around the world, and met with influential thinkers, artists, and political leaders. In the 1930s, with the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime, Einstein saw the dangers ahead. He was in the United States when Hitler came to power and decided not to return to Germany. He took a position at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey, and became an American citizen in 1940. Though he loved Germany, he could not reconcile his values with the darkness sweeping across Europe. As World War II loomed, Einstein's fear that Nazi Germany might develop an atomic bomb led him to write a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1939. This letter, co-signed with physicist Leo Szilard, urged the U.S. to accelerate atomic research. The result was the Manhattan Project, which would ultimately create the first nuclear weapons. Although Einstein did not participate in the project, he later expressed deep regret that his warning had contributed to the arms race. He became a vocal advocate for nuclear disarmament and global cooperation, warning that humanity's survival depended on learning to resolve its conflicts through reason, not violence. Despite his fame, Einstein lived simply. He preferred modest clothes, hated fame's superficial trappings, and spent his time in thought, music, and letters. He played the violin often, finding in music a kind of order and harmony that mirrored the universe he sought to understand. He was known for his kindness, humility, and sense of humor. Friends, colleagues, and students admired not just his intellect, but his gentle spirit. Einstein's personal life, however, was far from simple. He married twice, first to Mileva Maric, a fellow physics student, with whom he had 3 children, and later to his cousin Elsa Lowenthal. His relationships were often strained, especially as his passion for work often took priority over family. He could be distant and preoccupied, yet he remained committed to his children in his own quiet way. In his later years, Einstein turned his focus toward a grand unifying theory, a way to combine gravity and electromagnetism into one single framework. He spent decades pursuing this unified field theory, but it remained incomplete at his death. Still, he never gave up the chase. His work laid the foundation for modern physics, from quantum mechanics to cosmology. Albert Einstein died on April 18, 1955, at the age of 76, in Princeton. His brain was removed during autopsy, with the hope that it might unlock the mystery of his genius, though nothing definitive was ever found. He had requested to be cremated, and his ashes were scattered in an undisclosed location. Einstein left behind more than equations and theories. He left behind a legacy of curiosity, courage, and compassion. He believed deeply in the power of ideas and the responsibility of scientists to use their knowledge for good. He taught us that imagination is as important as logic, that questions matter more than answers, and that even in a world filled with uncertainty, the pursuit of truth is a noble and necessary journey. Today, Einstein remains one of the most iconic figures in human history. His wild hair and gentle eyes, his deep insights and playful wit, all have become symbols of human brilliance. But beyond the myth is a man who loved music, hated war, cherished freedom, and never stopped wondering about the universe. His life was not just the story of a genius, but of a human being who dared to see the invisible, ask the unasked, and believe in the beauty of understanding.